Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I am Mick Alphanim. So we're going to start off with a little bit of XRP news here, and then we'll move into other things. This is on Ripple.com, and I've been iterating and saying that I believe Ripple, Stellar, Algorand, and Hedera will dominate the NFT sphere. You know, the ones that are out front right now, out ahead of the rest. Obviously, Algorand has a great NFT ecosystem. Hedera has an amazing NFT ecosystem. I think they're going to dominate, especially with their connections and their focus. They focused on NFTs and building their ecosystems very, very early. But here's the thing about Ripple in their utilization of XRP to XRPL when it comes to NFTs. They're completely strategic. They're looking at the big businesses. They're looking at the big money. They're talking about, I know that they're going to be deeply involved, in my humble opinion, deeply involved with the tokenization of debt. 100%. They're going to go in deep with that. Also, unfortunately, I believe that they're going to take a big chunk of trade finance also. XDC, that doesn't affect them. They go hand in hand, all right, especially with Overledger utilizing Quant. So you have Quant as Overledger for both XDC and trade finance. And then also, I believe the XRPL will be deep in trade finance. There's a reason that I say that, but I'm going to go over that in the members only section with the next members only video I'm going to be dropping. Okay, so make sure you click that little join button and be present for that. More reason. These are all more reasons why the price of XRP is going to explode. So you have, look, in that metaverse, which NFTs, one of the main reasons NFTs are going to explode, as I believe many of you know, but we have a lot of newcomers, is because of that metaverse. They've already confirmed what I was saying last year, what I was postulating last year, that they will be putting probably, I believe, movie theaters in the metaverse, banks in the metaverse, because it's going to save them a ton of money. So now you're going to have these banks in the metaverse, movie theaters in the metaverse, homes in the metaverse, right? And you have all of this value flowing across the blockchains. Let's strip away metaverse, strip away the word NFT. It comes down to a lot of money and value that will be flowing across the XRPL, across Algorand, across Hedera. What does it do to that price? Does that price stay at 36 cents, 37 cents? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And with all of that value flowing across only a few blockchains, because make no mistake about it, crypto apocalypse will come. It hasn't happened yet, but when the SEC starts doing all of those regulations and all of that other crypto goes away, a lot of value is going to come from those cryptos and flow into the compliant blockchains like XRPL, Stellar, Algorand, Hedera, etc., Quant. Not only that, all of that money that was on the side will now step in. I'm seeing continuous articles being posted saying that there's a lot of money on the side and they're waiting to step in when the blockchain DLT space, distributed ledger technology space, is regulated. So they're waiting. So that money is going to step in also. So you have that legacy system money, you have the retail investors money, all will be flooding into the bank coins, in my humble opinion. Not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, but you have all of that money. Then sprinkle on top of that, and it's a healthy sprinkling, by the way, all of that bank money. Don't ever forget interbank payments. You know what's unbelievable is that there's so many people that absolutely hate XRP, until the point where they hate XRP holders. But we provide factual evidence. We looked at the interbank payments. We know the banks that the XRPL is that's going to be using the XRPL. We've looked at their quarterlies. We've looked at their financials. Same thing we did with Stellar. All last year, we combed the sands of the earth for information on Stellar. We looked at financials, quarterlies, the banks involved, the businesses involved. We dug up a lot of factual information. So, but the speculators, there's this fear in this sphere in crypto that they make a lot of money from speculation. So retail investors, the lay retail investor, they really don't want to do too much. They just look, they see green, they buy, and then the rest of the market that's, tricking them by pumping these certain crypto up, they sell and they make money. So they make money off of people's ignorance. So they can only make money off those individuals if they're not educated, right? They don't know catalysts. They don't, you can do some chart reading, but you have to know catalyst. What is the reason that this price is going up? Then you'll know if it's sustainable or not. Most of these times where everything goes green is not going to be sustainable because there is no catalyst. That's going to change when we enter the utility era. When we enter the utility era, obviously that's going to be sustainable growth over time. Of course, some of it can be meteoric, some of it may not be meteoric, but it doesn't matter because the money is going to be so massive. But here's the thing. That's those people that take advantage of the speculative market, they won't be able to do that anymore. Not to the degree that they do now, because in order to know what if there's the degree of volatility. In order to know the degree of volatility that's going to be happening in the utility market, you would need to know the catalyst now. Now you wouldn't be able to just easily pump your whale money into the market, make everything go green, and then these retail investors FOMO in, then you sell, you make your profit off of them. That won't work in that way anymore. It won't. When it just won't. It can't. They need to stabilize the prices of the bank coins at some point. Yes, there's going to be a little bit of volatility, but you know what I compare that to? The volatility in the future, just my humble opinion, I could be completely wrong, but the volatility in the future will be no different than the volatility that you see with gold. Gold has its volatility, but it's pretty safe. It's not that much volatility. I expect, and so that's like an accepted, it's like accepted stability. It's not really stable. It's not like a stable coin where it's locked in at one price to a fiat. And that's a good thing too, by the way, because you do want to be able to have that price go up, right? If there's certain catalysts involved, and then you make a good amount of money. So that is a good thing. You don't really want it just locked at that certain rate. However, when the banks step in and they raise those prices up, they buy a ton of coins, whether for a private ecosystem, public ecosystem, which we read documents where they want to use both together, by the way, right? But either way, the prices of those particular cryptos like XRP will skyrocket. So then they're going to level out at a much higher level than where they are now, theoretically speaking. If that were to happen, then the markets would not be able to be manipulated like they are now. That's one of the good parts about having a regulated market. And not only that, but having an asset right now like XRP or XLM or Algorand, HBAR, that are deep with the banks. Actually, and you know what's another interesting thing? Have you all been keeping up with HBAR and what they've been posting and, you know, scouring the internet for Hedera information? They've been working with a good amount of banks lately. You got to pay attention to that. Now, I can't cover everything. I'm only one person, but I've been doing my best. But these bank coins are involved with so many commercial banks, central banks, that there is no asset I've ever seen before that has the potentiality to access that much money. There's not. There is no comparison. There isn't. And I have respect for other cryptocurrencies, even though I don't hold them. Like, I have respect for Bitcoin. I hope people make money with Bitcoin. I have respect for Ethereum. I hope people make money with Ethereum, right? You make your money where you can. But that does not negate the truth that there is no other classification of crypto coins, tokens, or technology, or anything for that matter, that has ever been able to access this much money. Then you're talking about, let's say you just take XDC, right? You've heard a lot of brilliant minds from XDC talk about the tokenization of debt. And they talked about it at length and with great detail. $300 trillion on the table, and that's only going to grow. Imagine that moving across XDC. This is where the NFT sphere is headed when we're talking about XRP, we're talking about XDC, Algorand. We're talking about quadrillions of dollars. You can't take 300 trillion from, we're talking potentiality here. Of course, growth over time, everything happens in degrees. So maybe it happens meteorically, maybe it doesn't. It doesn't make a difference, in my opinion, as long as they bring us that money. But you take $300 trillion from the world debt, tokenize that, then you have north of $130 trillion. We're talking about B2B payments, right? Then you have trillions of dollars, quadrillions over the weeks and months and stuff like that. If we're talking about interbank payments, we're talking about quadrillions of dollars. And maybe that's unbelievable for some people, but you just have to crunch the numbers. What can we tell you? We're not here to tell you to buy or sell. It really is not going to make a difference. I like to say that oftentimes. With the bank coins, they're called bank coins for a reason. They're trying to get rid of everybody for a reason. They don't want you to have them because retail never was supposed to matter. That's why they're trying so hard right now to do everything to lie to you, to fudge you out, to get rid of you, because they never wanted you involved in the first place. It was just like a necessary thing that they had to offer them in this particular way because of decentralization. But the overall idea was always to be with the banks. And have that bank money flow into the new financial system, because everyone with eyes to see could see for decades now that the financial system was going to collapse. A fiat-based system cannot last that long. It just can't, because another large country elsewhere at some point is going to tokenize their thing backed by something solid like gold or silver or something, and then that's going to be massively damaging to any fiat that's not backed. So there's a time limit on this. So they've always known that they're going to have to replace the system. And so here you have it. In comes the new financial system. All of these blockchains together are one system. Just they do different things. They don't step on each other's toes. That's why you have interoperability, and they're going by different names. But make no mistake about it, they are one system. Look how they flow seamlessly one into the other. They're all in the same regions, building near each other with similar corridors, smart contracts, liquidity, on-demand liquidity, instant liquidity pools outright for decentralization. You have all of these different things going on. They're all one system. This obviously was always, I won't say it was planned out, but it was anticipated. It was anticipated. Whenever you have a massive problem that's sitting there for decades, like the fiat-based system, there's going to at some point be a solution come about. I think every wise mind understands that, right? Cause and effect. Cause, here's this problem, fiat. Effect, sooner or later, we're going to find a viable solution. And so all they had to do was wait for it. And now they're conscripting, they're bringing in the bank coins. Yeah. So all of that, I've thought about all of that while I'm reading this little article here on ripple.com. But just check this out. It says, in addition, upon surveying hundreds of individuals around the globe, a remarkable 90% said they prefer to purchase or have only purchased sustainable NFTs and cryptocurrencies. This is another way they're going to eliminate most of crypto because they're not green. They're not considered sustainable. Make no mistake about it, is my humble opinion, but make no mistake about it. These banks don't care about anybody. Neither do the governments. They're all about money and self, but they come to you with a smile. Hey, let's make a deal. They come to you with a smile. This is how they float ideas to everyone. Pretend to be their heroes. Meanwhile, you're really the ones who are harming the people. But by pretending that they're heroes and kings and benevolent beings, you see how the IMF presents itself. We're going to save everyone. Meanwhile, every country has a problem with how the IMF conducts itself. They are so totalitarian, it's unbelievable. But they use this false light, so to speak, this false goodness, heroism, to float ideas and take over large portions of countries and industries and such like that. But they're going to come to everyone with that same smile and say, hey, we want to save everyone. You have to be green. Are you green? They know already you're not green. And that's how they're going to eliminate a lot of the blockchains that they label as non-green, not carbon neutral or negative. They're going to go away. They'll just be outright shunned by the large money. They will. I mean, if they try to continue to exist, I mean, they're probably going to pass laws that outlaw anything that's not green. When it comes to blockchain technology, you already see some countries trying to do that. So when we're looking at these meme coins and other non-bank coins, non-utility coins, because some utility coins like VeChain are great, but they're just not bank coins, but they are great, and I believe they're going to make a ton of money. So let me just say that these other coins that are not utility coins, they're not bank coins, finance coins, they're going to be eliminated. So people have to be very careful with their money when they're trying to make this quick money, quick bucks off of meme coins and stuff like that, risky investments in the coming 2 to 3 years, in my humble opinion. A lot of those will be wiped out. And Gary Gensler is going to definitely make sure of that. They've released a bevy of articles recently saying that they want to go after the exchanges. But on what grounds are they going to go after the exchanges? For a lot of different things. For by saying that some of these offerings were securities, and they're going to look at the wording when these companies have initial coin offerings. They're going to look at the wording that they use. That's going to come up. It's definitely going to come up. What did they say at that time when they did an initial coin offering, or when they put these crypto out there, however you want to put it? That's going to come up. Are these sustainable? That's definitely going to come up. So that's what I wanted to get to. So this is why you see so much about the bank coins are putting it out there now. They have to put it out there for legality reasons, to head them sort of head off the enemy at the pass. Preemptive actions. That's what I'm talking about. So they're preempting the enemy by saying, look, we're green, we're carbon neutral, carbon negative, or we're carbon neutral, we're going to be becoming carbon negative. So now they don't have that argument. They can't file a lawsuit. They're not affected by any laws that are passed. You get what I'm saying? So let's read this little piece here. It says NFTs operate as a link between the real and virtual worlds. Digital art and collectibles helped prove one early use case of these tokens. That's why I was trying to tell everyone. So now you have Ripple telling you itself, this is just where it begins. This is not where it ends. Not even close. Now, I'll say this. Did you see how much money people were making off NFTs? Listen, NFTs make so much money. They put crypto to shame. Like, if you love making crypto money, NFT money is, well, when the markets are doing well, that is. Markets have to be doing good. But when the markets are doing good, those NFTs were making so much money for people around the world that if that's how much money art NFTs make, just imagine when real estate NFTs are mainstreamed. Think about that for a minute. Imagine when they tokenize debt. There's so much money that can be made off of purchasing debt. You understand, you purchase debt at a fraction of the cost of what the debt is? A fraction. Then you sell it and you make even more. You make even more of an exorbitant percentage on top of that when you sell the debt. It's unbelievable. This is why you have like countries buying debt. So you had like China was buying the debt of the United States, making a ton of money. This is why they buy debt. So now you're going to have that debt tokenized. What are those prices going to look like? How much money is going to be made from that? You understand where I'm going? I don't know if I'm being eloquent, but there's going to be a lot of money made when debt is tokenized. Countries will be in on it. 100%. Banks will be in on it. The only question is retail going to pay attention? Because they're not going to talk about that. They're going to continue to put out colorful monkeys and stuff in front of you. All of these distractions. Here's what do you call it? JPEG. Here's a digital image of some floating balloons held by a llama, right? That's what they're going to put out to the retail investors. But all of the money makers are going to be looking at real estate, music licensing, things like that can be purchased, a lot of royalty type of deals, tokenization of debt, and that is going to be major money. I think this is one of the reasons, there's so much I could talk about, but let's continue on here. I have so many articles that I never get to. Let's try to get through a few today. So also here's another article here from Ripple. So as I said before, in the prior video, Ripple will also be getting into music, just like what Algorand is doing. Because even though it's just a few $1 billion, it's like $21 billion, $25 billion. I know the newcomers, that sounds crazy, like 21 billion, that's pretty good. But understand that we talk about a lot of big money here when it comes to the XRPL, Stellar, Algorand. We're talking trillions and quadrillions of dollars. So when I say it's only a few $1 billion, that's what I mean in comparison to what we usually talk about. But it's still good money, it's still good volume. So here we have an article from Ripple. It's a tweet. It says, this is from Sonar Muse. It says, thank you to the Ripple X dev team for selecting us as part of the XRPL grants awardees alongside some amazing projects being built on the XRP ledger. So there you have it. They're going to bring music licensing to the XRPL. So they're expanding. I believe there's already a few projects that were trying to do that on the XRPL. Not trying, but they're building on that. So music licensing, royalty payments, music NFTs, which are going to sell for a ton of money, by the way. I think music NFTs are going to be the wave of the future, really. You'll still have your music streaming services, of course, but that's tiny money. They're only paying the artist like a few cents per stream. It's ridiculous. But the artist can do that and get that small money, that's money at the bottom, while they sell their NFTs also, exclusive NFTs, which is money at the top. That's big money stuff. You're selling your song for $500, let's say $500 minimum, something like that. It's rare. You make, what do you make, like 10 of them available? $500 a piece, you're doing pretty good. A lot of these artists, music artists, are coming from the bottom. That's good money. So, and of course, I'm giving you the low end, $500. They're not gonna sell it for $500. They're probably gonna sell like $900 minimum per music NFT or whatever's going to be, depending on the level of artist, right? But that's like entry level artist stuff. So if that's entry level artist stuff, then what are the major artists? What are the major artists going to be selling their NFTs for? You got an early look at that last year. So this is why, Ripple is going to get involved. Algorand is already deep in the music industry. Napster, Algorand brought in Napster, LimeWire, a few others. Was it Dequincy? They're already deep, because that's money that's going to grow. And as it grows and flows across that blockchain, what does it do to that price of Algo? What does it do to that price of XRP? And see, these are projects where it can actually go off and trigger a few runs or upticks in the prices of these things, because these things can happen and take place before the banks step in. You see what I'm saying? So all of those people who are looking for an uptick in price, this is part of the reason why it could happen a little bit earlier than just the floods that come in with the commercial banks, central banks, the clearinghouse banks, things of that nature. So there's so many different types of banks, but this could definitely affect that price, especially as the money grows. And over time, for those people, there's a few people that say, no, we're just going to hold our XRP and use it outright because fiat currency, is risky. It definitely is. And especially the US dollar, we have to wait to see what the BRICS nations are going to be doing. And understand that the BRICS nations, they're constantly adding new countries. They're becoming a force to be reckoned with. So if they back their central bank digital currency with gold, then it's going to be a question of how devastating of a hit that's going to be to the US dollar. US dollar dominance would be over, in my humble opinion, if they continue to add countries. This is why also you see, what is it, like NATO, whatever their organization is, they're also constantly trying to add countries, but with great difficulty for a myriad of reasons. But there's this war going on between BRICS and the other countries, of course, when it comes to the petrodollar. They don't want dollar dominance. So that's why a lot of people, they're probably just going to hold on to their XRP and just spin it outright. You can move the value of XRP into any currency that you want anywhere. Gold, we can move it into gold, silver, platinum. So I know a lot of people like platinum, a yuan, a ruble. You can move your value anywhere that you want, thus in a way protecting your value, right? So especially at that time when the XRP price goes up and goes parabolic. So you want to keep that in mind, because you don't want to move your value, I would think, into something. Let's say US dollar is damaged. It's a possibility, definitely high possibility. But let's say you move your value into a currency that's currently being damaged by a currency that's backed by gold, and the value is going down. Then you would lose value if you move your value into that particular currency. Meanwhile, you can move that value into something else and maintain your value. So this is the way that people are looking at that as a strategy. But yeah, this money here from the music industry is going to be tremendous, in my humble opinion, and definitely could cause a spike in that price. So now let's go on here, just as an example. Follow this right up with Opulus. This was a tweet from Algorand here, from Opulus, talking about music here. We're excited to announce our 2022-2023 roadmap update. And so, as I said, Algorand is in deep with the music. They have this particular roadmap here. And so they're laying out what's going to be happening. That money is coming. Algorand's price went parabolic just off of retail speculation. What is it going to do when you have royalty checks from music artists moving across the Algorand blockchain? What's going to happen when you're having transactions constantly, high volume of transactions, people are buying or streaming or paying monthly subscriptions for Napster on Algorand, or LimeWire on Algorand, or Dequincy on Algorand, or now here you have it, Opulus on Algorand. So they're going to have a MFT launchpad and MFT staking. So staking is going to be involved. What does it do to that price? MFT exchange, royalty vault. Look at all of these things they're going to be doing. And of course, an ambassador program, which is great. Algorand, of course, they're great at advertising, but also the companies that build on Algorand sort of walk in their footsteps, where they're also very good at advertising. So all of this is very, very good in my opinion. Algorand is dominating right now. They have a strong team. They continue to build the strength of their team, even though they're already they're already at juggernaut status. That's unbelievable. And they continue to do good deals every day. Never forget, the traceability is going to be huge when it comes to Algorand. They already used it to trace, the certain things going on down there in Latin America, certain supplies. And that's only going to expand. That also is something that's very, very key and a reason why they are respected. In the video that I posted yesterday, I hope people watch that stuff. So I put XRP in the title, but you can see in the thumbnail which crypto I'm going to be covering. I spoke about Algorand and Bank of Italy. Algorand was tested and used by Bank of Italy. There's no way that they rained praise down upon Silvio Macaulay and Algorand and tested it and were satisfied with the results. And I'm going to think that they're not going to choose Algorand and use them. Now, is there a possibility they don't choose Algorand? Definitely a possibility. There's no guarantees in anything in life. But if they're satisfied with the project and they're praising it, raining praise on the blockchain as well as the creator of the blockchain, I'm going to think that they're probably going to choose Algorand for their CBDC, digital currency. And if that happens, Algorand's price is going to explode. This is why the patient people win the day most of the time. So now let's move on here. I have so many articles. I'm trying to get through the thoughts quickly. If not, we're going to be here for like an hour. So I'm trying to give you everything, but without taking too long. So here we go. So now we have a tweet here. This is from HBAR Foundation, and as I said before, because they have because the governing council is so distinguished and powerful, HBAR in particular, not only is it going to be used by banks, in my humble opinion, it already has been. They tested their stable coins on there. You had a couple of other banks coming out saying that they tested HBAR. Now, will they stick with HBAR? Who knows? We have to wait to see. We don't want to jump out ahead of ourselves. Let's be logical and just keep ourselves privy to the information and update ourselves. And hopefully those things continue to go well as far as their utilization by banks. And then that would mean that price will explode if everything continues to go according to plan. But here we have this tweet. It says, "We're pleased to support WebShield.io in launching personal privacy networks to enable users unprecedented privacy, cybersecurity, and ID protection whilst providing convenient access to data, apps, digital content, online services, and secure messaging." So what I'm thinking here is that obviously you're going to have probably encrypted messaging, sort of like Stellar has something like that. What was that? There's like an app where the messages are completely encrypted. Nobody can read what's going on. You can also send lumens back and forth. And I don't think people can, I don't know if those transactions are made available or not. I don't know. But what is the name of that app? I can't think of it right now, but Stellar has something similar to that they brought into their blockchain. But look at this, cybersecurity, because HBAR has such a high level of security, especially with their gossip mechanism. This is why I perceive that a lot of large institutions like banks, also governments, will be utilizing and working with Hedera. Hedera on their governing council has FIS. FIS is a supervisory entity, has a lot of banks that it influences. So I believe that, yes, they're going to recommend Hedera when it comes to security, data, stuff like that, immutability, tracking, tracing transactions and things of that nature. You just can't, there's nothing better than Hedera when it comes to traceability and when it comes to data storage, traceability of data, things of that nature, right? Because of its gossip mechanism. This is not, Hedera is Hashgraph. It's completely superior to blockchain. No matter how much we love blockchain and the partnerships that they have, and they are going to make a ton of money, by the way. But in my humble opinion, not financial advice, not a financial advisor. And remember, it doesn't matter to me whether you buy or sell. Doesn't matter at all. I'm waiting on those banks. But Hedera in particular, because it is completely superior in every possible way to blockchain, it's going to be snatched up by these particular types of institutions, which, like I said, because of the advent of MBDCs and MCBDCs, multi-central bank digital currencies, we covered a lot of that last year when we were scraping the earth for all the information on Stellar. But because of that, all of these blockchains, the Bankcoin family, the ISO family, whatever you want to call them, they will be merged together, in my humble opinion. They will work together just like sort of how the banking system works now. A lot of people don't see that, and that's why they're going to lose out on some money, because they say, well, I'm only going to put money in this one here, this one here, which is fine. I think all of them are going to be winners. So when it comes to bank coins, that's a smart thing. But some people put their money in non-bank coins, and it's like, that's a little bit risky. Yeah, it's a little bit risky. Now, they're all going to merge together, sort of like what commercial banks have done. They all sort of work together underneath the central banks, which are supervisory entities, right? The central banks issue the currencies, they influence the policy making, things of that nature. But we all look at it as one system, correct? There's all one system, the banking system. That's what we call it, right? All right, that's how the new financial system is going to work. You're not going to be saying, well, Algorand, not in the future, Algorand, Hedera, Stellar. No. You're just going to say, oh, it's a new financial system. New financial system is doing this. The new financial system is releasing this type of technology or these policies. It will be spoken of as one system. And I think it will dominate. It will the old legacy system, I think, will be completely absorbed by the new financial system, in my humble opinion. So now let's move on here to this. We're going to end with this here. This is from Quant, and this is from Gilbert Verdian. And the tweet reads, hashtag digital assets will give control back to the consumer. Hashtag tokenization will also enable us to protect IP for the first time, wrapping it as a digital asset and deciding who can consume, rent, transfer, sell, or access an asset or good. So this is one of the things, and that was actually interesting that he said that. They don't like that. The governments and the central banks don't like that. They like to have control over everything. They're going to tell you what's good, right? But what he's saying is true, and this is why they fear crypto. This is why they fear things like Quant also, but they can't deny it. That is the greatest thing, that they made this technology so powerful, whether it's XRP, XLM, Quant, all of these bank coins. They made them so powerful that they're undeniable. I mean, how else are they going to have interoperability without any bridges, right? You can't use bridge systems. They're all flawed, and all the bridges have been getting hacked, right? Most of them, right? They've had all of these vulnerabilities. So you need something like Quant, a gateless system. But yes, it will give control back to the consumer. It will. And that means what? For the first time, by the sweat of your own brow, depending on how much research you do, depending on which assets you pick up, you can make a ton of money and possibly become rich, possibly become wealthy. That's two different things. I went over that before, right? Wealth is different than rich. You want to be wealthy. Rich is pretty good too. Rich is pretty good. But for the first time, anybody truly will have that ability. It doesn't matter whether you live in Latin America, Africa, United States, whether you're on the bottom or the top, you will have the opportunity to make an exponential amount of money if you use this technology the right way. And there's a myriad of ways that you can use this, not just by holding or trading cryptocurrency. Some of you are small business owners, large business owners, things of that nature. This is a huge benefit, especially now with the advent of everyone making an exodus from the Western world as far as businesses, right? And moving to other countries to build their businesses, like Latin American countries, Africa, where these economies are going to be exploding, but also they're quite affordable and reasonable with as far as how much everything costs to be able to operate your business. So if you're building on one of these blockchains to move your payroll, to move money back and forth between countries, things of that nature, this is a huge benefit. So that's another way that these things can be used. So yes, it gives control. I won't even say the consumer. It gives control to the people for the first time. And this is why they don't tell anyone. Shh. Most of the people that find out probably find out from you, right? That are around you about the bank coins. They only know about the other crypto that really is not going to help them. You can make a quick buck, but for how long? And there's always a very, very high risk. And most of them are not going to lead to generational wealth at all. Then this is not going to happen. Yeah, maybe you can get a little rich, sure. I think a few of them have a few more explosions left. But when it comes to bank coins, they are the biggest possibility for people to attain a good amount of riches and generational wealth. In my humble opinion, not financial advice. So, do you know, like with all of that, I have so many thoughts. I'm trying to give you as much as I can. I'm trying to give it all to you. But, you know, do you know I still didn't get to the last articles? Don't worry, we have time, man. I appreciate everybody being here. Thank you so much for being here. And so, until next time, let's get to, I forgot to do the slap. So until next time, I'm messing up my own outro. Let's get to the money.